Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for being here. I'd like to welcome you to our campaign headquarters on the occasion of our naming Ben Arndt of Lincoln County, Sioux Falls, as my choice for Lieutenant Governor of South Dakota. But before we get started, before I talk to you a little bit about Ben and you hear from Ben, I just want you all to know how excited we are to have our senior senator with us today. I don't know of anybody, honestly, in South Dakota history who has a better feel for what's important to the people of South Dakota at any particular given point in time. It's important to remember that Tim Johnson started his successful career in 1978 with successful runs for the State House twice, the State Senate twice, the United States Congress 5 times, the United States Senate 3 times, without ever having been defeated. That's a pretty good track record of someone who has always stayed close to the people, and I'm honored to say was involved in our selection of Ben Arndt for the position of Lieutenant Governor. I'm so grateful to Senator Johnson for being with us today. I've asked him if he would be willing to just say a few words before we talk a little more and let you know who Ben Arndt is and why his selection is so important. Senator Johnson.
Thank you, sir. I'm slow. I didn't get in there. I'm pleased to be here today and want to commend Scott on his historic selection. I think Ben Arndt is a great choice, especially given the budget crisis that we are currently facing. Scott was looking for a candidate with a strong business background, someone with private business sector experience in creating jobs, and Ben fits that criteria perfectly. He is the CEO of Bell Incorporated, one of the nation's leading box manufacturers, which employs over 200 workers. Finally, Scott's pick of Ben is proof positive that Scott is a unique leader who doesn't look at issues through a political lens. I look forward to an exciting fall campaign and working with this team when they take office after the election. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Johnson. I'm so grateful to you for being here and for participating in the process and for giving us your seal of approval on the very unique and very important and historic selection we make today. Today we take another important step in our challenge to create greater private sector careers and opportunities. At the same time, we reverse the growth of the public sector in South Dakota. And to do that, I've chosen Ben Arndt of Lincoln County, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as my Lieutenant Governor nominee. I want to tell you a little bit about the process that we went through in selecting Ben. As Senator Johnson mentioned, Ben is the Chief Operating Officer of a company called Bell Incorporated here in Sioux Falls. Bell Incorporated was actually taken over and built to its current status by Mark Graham, who is Ben's father-in-law and the chair of our campaign. And when Mark signed up as the chair of our campaign back in July or August, we started talking about strategy and how important it was that we make it very clear that South Dakota is open for business. And that we make it very clear that we are a business-friendly state and will be a business-friendly administration. I was very happy to have Ben and Sarah's support back then, and Mark's support, of course, as the chair of our campaign. But during the legislative session, When it was clear that I would be the nominee of our party, I started to think about potential lieutenant governor choices. And of course, I ran them by the chair of our campaign, Mark Graham, and we had quite a good number of folks to choose from. It was really an exciting time. But it occurred to me, why not Ben Arndt? This is a young professional business executive I had admired for a very long time. And so I ran the name of Ben Arndt past Mark Graham, whose immediate reaction was, I don't think the company can spare him, and was actually very discouraging to me. And I stayed after Mark, and Mark started to warm to the idea. And as things developed in about April or May, we got more serious about the vetting process, and I was just so thrilled about the way that all came together. And ultimately, the chair of our campaign relented, and I made the offer to Ben Arndt to be the lieutenant governor nominee for our party, and I was thrilled to have him accept. That was the one person I asked to take this responsibility on, and I'm so grateful that he accepted. So who is Ben Arndt? Well, it's a story familiar to many of us. He is a small town Iowan. Wall Lake, Iowa is his hometown, about 2 hours to the east and south of us here. He grew up there. His dad was a fertilizer salesman. His mom was a home decorator in Wall Lake. Ben graduated from high school there and did the usual number of jobs, working extremely hard, whether it was delivering newspapers or working on area farms. He went from Wall Lake to Yale, where he graduated with honors, and again worked 3 and sometimes 4 jobs, security officer, you name it, he did it. And he took a job in industry then with Procter & Gamble's. Business is his love, it's his fascination, and with Procter & Gamble's he did some amazing things in 5 years. He was a driving force in the highly successful Crest White Strips product. Along the way at Procter & Gamble's, he handled things like Vicks Vapor Rub and products along those lines. He was a part of the team that not only launched products, but also figured out the pricing, figured out the advertising, and the promotion of those products in the private sector. He went from there and then later was at Microsoft. While at Microsoft in Redmond, Washington, he was a part of the team that launched the highly successful Xbox product. He was responsible again for pricing, advertising, promoting, marketing the product in the marketplace, and did a fabulous job with a product that I think is familiar to most of us. Where he's gone, he's been successful. He's been successful at running businesses. He's been successful at managing complex operations. He is, in short, a successful business executive at a time when South Dakota needs exactly that. The responsibilities of the lieutenant governor under our state law are fairly well set. Actually, the governor can be as flexible as he wants to be in establishing the responsibilities of that office, but state law says that he will preside over the Senate and he will vote in the case of a tie, which is something that Dennis Dugard, I think, did all of twice in the last legislative session. As a former presiding officer myself, I understand that what it takes to preside over the legislative chamber in either the House or the Senate is a knowledge of the rules, which you gain by studying a book called Mason's Manual, and then you apply common courtesy and common sense. And I'm confident that Ben Arndt can do exactly that. But this lieutenant governor will do much more than just that.